Hi everyone, my name is Prabhu Kopel, John Prabhu Kopel, and I just want to share a few mostly astrological insights into what's going on in the world right now. And obviously, we're talking about the coronavirus and everything else that's going on around it. So, it does relate to Pluto. And although most Vedic astrologers don't look at Pluto, it is important. And the coronavirus began very close in time when Mars was approaching Pluto. Pluto is a planet of death, destruction, and rebirth. Mars is the planet of action and aggression. So needless to say, that combination is difficult. It doesn't bode well, but we have to go through it. So that's around the time that the coronavirus started. And around February 24th is when Pluto moved from Sagittarius, Jupiter's sign, to Capricorn, which is Saturn's sign. So that's a huge worldly adjustment. In Sagittarius, Pluto is under the guidance of Jupiter, Guru. In Hindi and in Sanskrit, Jupiter is called Guru. And of course, for those of us in Siddha Yoga, we have the Guru's grace. But it's also nice to have Jupiter, Guru's grace, in the planet, in the chart as well. So that is actually happening. So when Pluto is in Sagittarius, it receives the benediction, the good of Jupiter. And when it's in Capricorn, it receives and is controlled by Saturn, the harsh disciplinarian. And we felt that right away. And it's not a coincidence that almost to the exact day that Pluto moved into Capricorn, after 20 years in Sagittarius, that the stock market crash began and all hell broke loose throughout the world. So what's in store for us now? Well, just yesterday, Sunday, Jupiter, Guru, changed signs from its own sign of Sagittarius to Capricorn, where technically it's called debilitated. It's the weakest sign in the zodiac for Jupiter. However, the good thing about this now is that Jupiter is now closely conjunct with Pluto, which has been the real cause, if you will. I mean, it's a divine cause, all of this taking place, but from an astrological perspective, I believe that it's Pluto that is most responsible for what's going on. But Jupiter is closely conjunct Pluto now for months on end. They both go forward for a few months, and then they retrograde back into Sagittarius. And when they retrograde back into Sagittarius, it gets even better, because we did not really have much of a problem, except for Mars conjuncting Pluto in Sagittarius. I expect this to go away for some time. How long? For many months. I think it will come back, but not for quite a while. But anyway, now we have Jupiter, Pluto, Mars, and Saturn all in Capricorn. And this is significant. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Saturn is strong in its own sign of Capricorn, and Mars being exalted is also very strong. But Mars and Saturn aren't friends. And it has led to what can easily be described as medical martial law, an authoritarian, a totalitarian approach to controlling the coronavirus, which now most of us around the world are, for the most part, required to stay at home. This is really unprecedented in world history. Yeah, there's been martial law, but around the world, for most of the people. So for a lot of us, like myself, who enjoy the freedoms, this is not a good time. However, it won't last. When Mars leaves Capricorn in about 5 weeks, and I can give another video about the exact day, things will ease up tremendously. And I believe that things will start to ease up even now. Of course, it'll be a gradual process, but with Jupiter close to Pluto for months on end, that will definitely begin to reduce the negative impact of the coronavirus on our health, on our economic situation, our political situation, and maybe our spiritual. I mean, our guru has said we should be strong, we should be fearless, and we should, obviously, because we're not this body, we're the soul. The soul cannot die. It's eternal. So, when Mars leaves Capricorn in about 5 weeks, things will get much better from all of those aspects. There's one other thing that's also going on now, and that is that in the Vedic, I forgot to mention I'm a Vedic astrologer. From the Vedic perspective, the rising sign or the ascendant of the United States is 6 degrees Sagittarius. And Ketu is in Sagittarius now, and it's approaching that point. It's interesting that that takes place also in about, I think, 4 weeks approximately. I can get the exact date. But Ketu will come right on top of the U.S. ascendant. And until those two things are complete in time and in energy, we will have to deal with the situation, obviously. But I definitely think that we'll get much better after about 4, 5, 6 weeks when Mars leaves Capricorn and when Ketu is at the exact point of the U.S. ascendant. And Ketu is a malefic. It's also called a mokshakaraka, indicator of moksha. But from a mundane perspective, when Ketu is on an ascendant, it's going to be challenging. But like our guru said, if we do our practices, if we remain strong and not fearless and not follow others blindly, then it will be fine. And there are things that we can do health-wise to strengthen our immune system. And of course, I'm doing a lot of that stuff, and I'm happy to share what I'm doing with any of you who are interested. And thank you for listening.